Good morning. Mr. Terpstra, Mr. Whalen, and myself, Mrs. Phillips, wanted to take some time this morning with you and go through the 7th grade math syllabus. So that way, whether you are face-to-face or virtual, you have an idea of what your expectations are for our class. So here we go. So you see all three of us and our contacts here, including email addresses and direct phone lines to our room. Please, if there's any questions at all throughout the year, as we are doing different content and you're stuck or you don't understand or just want to say hi, please make sure you reach out to us. So as far as what you're learning this year, we're really going to take what we did or what you did in 6th grade last year and just build on that. So as we get into the book, you'll start to see some of the chapters and the lessons are familiar. You did a lot of those introductory lessons in 6th grade. So this year in 7th grade, we will just build on those. So for example, in number 1, when it says apply and solve ratios, proportions, and percentages to real-world problems, we will start chapter 1 with ratios and proportions, and you'll see that tomorrow as we begin our first lesson. So you'll see it'll look familiar, and then we will just, again, like I said, build on that. So we'll take and just delve a little deeper into ratio and proportion problems. After that, we will get into percentages, and we will look at, with percentages, discounts and sale prices and tax and interest and various ways percentages are used outside in the real world. Second, we're going to take a look at integers. So you also started that last year. And when you did integers last year, it was mostly just understanding the placement of integers on a number line. This year, we will add, subtract, multiply, divide, positive and negative integers. And within those integers, we will also look at positive and negative decimals and fractions. Third, solve real-world math problems using algebraic expressions and equations. So we do a little bit of algebra. So we'll start to look at how we do combine like terms, it's called, and then get back into one-step and then two-step equations. Number 4, solve real-world problems or real-life problems, involving angle measure, area, surface area, and volume. So we do get into some geometry again this year. I know last year in 6th grade, that was one of the areas that you didn't get much into because in March we were obviously shut down. And so in that point in time this school year, we will have to go back a little bit and take a look at what you should have done in 6th grade with those geometry areas, and then continue with what we should learn in 7th grade with that. Number 5, use random sampling to draw inferences about a population and future outcomes. So this is about probability and data and statistics. So that'll be the very end of the year. And that will be in number 5, actually something you haven't learned much about at all. You don't do probability in 6th grade. And as far as the data and stats, you probably did a little bit with mean, median, mode, and looking and reading graphs last year, but probably not enough. So we will look at that more intensely at the end of this year. So student responsibilities, and this is super important because we are teaching and recording our videos every day, and this is how you're learning and getting your content. These things have to be with you every day. So you need to make sure you come in every day or you're at home every day and your Chromebook is ready to go and it's charged. So make sure you're checking that each night. You should also make sure you have your 7th grade volume 1 math book every day. Like I said, we're going to start lessons tomorrow. And so we will get right into the book and start chapter 1. Third, supplies. So you will need headphones. If you are face-to-face in class, you will be watching the videos along with the pre-algebra students who will be watching their videos. And so you'll need to make sure you have those to go through the lesson individually and then with our support. Colored pencils pens, pencils, highlighter, ruler. A calculator is going to be very important as well, and we do use it in Chapter 1, so please make sure you have that. A white line paper or, a college ruled notebook, however you'd like to take notes. If we work out of the book most of the time, but if you need the notebook to write down additional notes, then that's great to have as well. And then just a pencil pouch to keep everything with you. So again, please make sure that those supplies are with you and ready to go every day. So we plan on using the following. Google Classroom for sure. We will have a seventh grade Google Classroom. In fact, you were invited via email on the date of the open house. And so you should be ready to go with that today for sure. And that's how you're getting all of your communication, the videos that the teaching, the content is going to be on, links and resources. We will also use Schoology. And so in Schoology, that will be used, or we will use that for all of your assignments, your quick checks, and your tests. Google Classroom and Schoology we use a lot. Those will be our two main online platforms that we use in class. The following, number 3, Alex, BuzzMath, That Quiz, Quizzes, and Khan Academy. Right now, those are our support websites and resources, and we will use those for participation and just extension of learning. And then we also, as well, plan on using Connect Ed, the last piece there. That is our online math book. So if by chance you forget your book, if you're coming face-to-face and you need that online math book, we will get you logged in so you can see that. Same thing at home. Something you can't find your math book. Again, we'll get you that login here shortly, hopefully in the next week or so, so that you have access to get into that website online and access your math ebook also to help. So this year, this is how we're going to go through and use our grading scale. So we decided to take our tests and then assignments, quick checks, and participation, and separated it just into those two categories. And each one is going to be weighted the same. Each one will be worth 50%. So let's talk about assignments and quick checks and participation first. So your assignments and your quick checks will be in Schoology. I just mentioned that. And so when you're doing your assignment, when you're doing your quick check, if you've used Schoology before, you can typically go through and try something over and over again. You can have multiple attempts at it to reach a certain score. And so you'll see students need to score 70% or higher to receive a grade for the assignment. If it's below 70%, you must retake it until you score above 70%. So if you go through the assignment or the quick check and you get 100% right away, you're fine. But let's say you get anything below that and you want to redo it again because you'd like that higher score, then it's going to be set for you to be able to do that. Your goal is to get 70%. If you are getting below 70%, that's where we're going to ask that you retake it and you just try it again and you go through. And so hopefully you're understanding the mistake that you may have made the first time. You're able to go back through and go, oh, yep, I understand it now, and go through and change that and fix it and get to that 70% or higher. So you can retake it. Absolutely. Make sure you're trying to get 70% or above on those quick checks and assignments. The second bullet also, it just emphasizes that you have unlimited attempts. The third bullet, the highest score, 70% or above, will always be entered into the grade book. So once you have 70% or above and you're happy with that score, then that will automatically stay in the grade book, no matter how many attempts you take. So even if you take it, and you get let's say 70% the first time, but then you want to try it again, you want to get higher, but you don't, you get lower, you get 50%. No worries, because again, it'll keep that highest score. It would keep that 70% in the grade book. So highest score always. Lastly, students can do unlimited retakes until the chapter test. And so all the work for chapter 1 also has to be submitted by the test. So while we're in chapter 1 and you miss an assignment, you miss a quick check, or you want to go back at a later time and retake that assignment or quick check, you have until the end of the chapter 1 test. Everything will remain open until that test. Once we have the test, those assignments and quick checks from chapter 1 will be closed. So just keep that in mind. That'll happen for each chapter. Your tests will also be in Schoology. That will be given at the end of each chapter. And here with your tests, you only have one attempt on each chapter test, only one. So on your tests, you cannot retake them. You will have a study guide prior to that where you can go through and practice those problems before you take the test, but you do only have one attempt. So the score that you get on that test, the first attempt, that's the one that stays in the grade book. Okay, so let's talk about how you can be successful this year in 7th grade math. Make sure you are checking your grades in PowerSchool. Make sure you're staying on top of your grades at all times and that there's no surprises. And so check frequently, please. A 0 in the grade book means an assignment wasn't turned in or you did not score above 70%. So as we go through the chapters and we do those quick checks and those assignments, if there was a 0 put in, it's because it was currently missing. We don't have it, you didn't do it. So make sure that you do go back and you obviously look at that and you get that assignment or quick check in. And also that your goal is to get up 70 or above. So, if you're scoring a 60 or a 50, it's not going to go into the grade book. We're asking you and encouraging you to make sure that you retake and get 70% or above. Third, study for tests. So like I said a minute ago, a study guide is provided for extra practice before each test because remember, you will only have one opportunity, one take on that test. Fourth, use any online resources associated with our textbook for any type of further assistance. And so, as we go through the chapters and we get closer to that chapter test, absolutely, we're going to tell you, this is what you should use. This is the extra practice and support you should have as you go through and prepare for that test. One is our online textbook. And so sometimes there are some things in there. There are some self-check quizzes and some videos and some great stuff on that online textbook that will help as well. And so I had mentioned earlier, I will get that login for all of you so that you can use that eventually as we head into the school year. Fifth, in addition to our new textbook, the resources that it provides for us, we're going to use BuzzMath and that quiz and Khan Academy. Those are probably the three strongest and most used websites that we'll go back to and for extra practice. And, even if we don't tell you, if we don't say, hey, go to BuzzMath today and do this, or go to that quiz and practice this, you should get familiar with those websites as well as we go through the year and know where to find things to help yourself out and practice and study and get ready for what's coming on your test. So, like I said, also on the first or second slide, if you're struggling at any point in time, because I know this is a very unique year and we're either face-to-face or virtual. And so some of you will never see me or Mr. Terpstra or Mr. Whalen. Please make sure you reach out to us. Make sure you contact us so we can help. So we hope that you have a fantastic school year. If you have any questions in regards to the syllabus, also, please contact us.